Hi, I'm Erik Linask, coming to you from Interop in Las Vegas. I'm here this morning with Jeanne Morain, who is the Vice President of Business Development at a company called InstallFree. Welcome, Jeanne.
Thank you.
So can you maybe get us started with a short description, or let our viewers know a little bit about what InstallFree does?
Absolutely. InstallFree is a third-generation application virtualization solution. So we provide an agentless client that allows you to manage all the virtual bubbles and applications and lock it down for digital rights management to target based on both user and machine, so more control. And so it kind of blends very well with what I call the 4 C's of universal client computing, which is the client, control, compliance, and business continuity.
Now, we talked a little bit earlier about the difference between internal and external clouds. Can you tell me a little bit about what the difference is between the two and how they're being used in the industry?
Well, really, when you look at, there's a big debate about the types of clouds, but the difference, like an internal cloud, is much of what people see today, is where a company internally provides a service to their customers, whether it's a wiki, it's a SharePoint, various things, that they provide applications and services such as Concur, for example, if you look at that. So they really kind of reach out internally within their organization. An external cloud is when a managed service provider or some type of service provider or a company provides a service to multiple customers so that they host all their data, all their components back within this cloud, so they have capacity on demand, like with what Amazon does, and then they can serve up applications to their end users.
Let's talk a little bit specifically about what you're doing in terms of delivering those applications to users. One of the things I know that obviously you've got different users, different places using different machines, and you told me some really interesting things about what you're enabling.
Absolutely. So we are the first to market to enable something called dynamic binding. And so what we do is we basically take the application and break it down to its smallest incremental components. So cloud providers like GDS can take their applications like G-Centricity and offer it to smaller to medium businesses such as doctor's office, clinics, things like that. And then in that case, they can package that application up one time. They can deliver it to that doctor, whether they're on their home PC, because it's locked down, and they can say based on this user and this machine, they can't print, they can't do any specific components based on HIPAA compliance, or they can deliver that application to the doctor's clinic, so the doctor can have full access control of that specific application, or they can deliver it to the nurse's station, for example, where the doctor can say, basically do what they need to do on the application and not worry, am I printing to the right local printing resources so I'm not in violation of HIPAA? So they provide that hybrid approach to deliver the applications regardless of the location from the cloud.
That's something new that we haven't seen really before, is the ability to assign policies based on the user and the device, right?
Yes.
Why is it important to be able to do that?
Well, because it really reduces the complexity of managing applications. So that scenario that I just gave, if you took that same scenario with current technologies, what you would have to do is have 3 different versions of that application configured for each unique environment, and then you'd still have to target based on machine. Because if you tried to target on the user, how do you know the user's on the right device? How do you know that they're on the right version of XP or Win 7 or Vista? So by virtualizing those applications and dynamically binding both the user and the machine policies, then doesn't matter what the OS is because the app is virtualized, so it's OS independent. And then it doesn't necessarily matter what the machine location is because the policies are applied, so the doctor doesn't have to worry, IT doesn't have to worry, and they're not locking them down from being able to do what they're supposed to do, which is take care of the patients.
Now, what does this mean for the doctor or for the end user in general in terms of what they're seeing? What kind of changes do they have to make in their behavior?
Well, that's the most important thing. So when you talk about the 4 C's, the most important is client. So coming from a human performance technologist background, the key component in control is really looking at, while you're locking down your environment, that you're not locking out your users, you're not preventing them from doing their job. And so because we trick the operating system into making it think that the applications are installed, that user can right-click, it's seamless, they don't know any difference from the physical or the virtual application. From an IT discovery standpoint, they can pick it up, it shows up in add-remove programs, it shows up as icons on the desktop. So for them, it's just an application on their endpoint. And so it doesn't necessarily have to impact them at all.
So I guess that's really, at the end of the day, what it's all about is the flexibility for the business itself, but simplicity for the end user.
Within a controlled environment. So now when you talk about compliance and everything that's going on with the Mortgage Protection Act, with the Cybersecurity Act that's in Congress, with HIPAA, with PCI, Gramm-Leach-Bliley, SOX, we've all heard all the buzzwords. Well, how do you really lock those down in a SaaS 70 environment so you can provide them in an external cloud? And because we have that flexibility and built in for security and control, the business can do what they need to do, IT can do what they need to do, and not necessarily have to worry about all the stuff on the back end.
Is the approach that you've taken something that you think the rest of the industry is going to follow your lead in?
Yes, I absolutely believe that it's very unique in the industry, and it's where people need to go to get to that true universal client compute experience.
Well, great. Certainly wish you luck, and we'll enjoy following you. We've been chatting here at Interop with Jeanne Morain from InstallFree. Jeanne, thank you very much.
Thank you.